Good morning, everyone. Had an opportunity to see a little piece on Ryan Day this weekend and his family, and saw that his dad had taken his life at 31 years old. And Ryan and his wife have worked hard for mental health and trying to help the mental health crisis across the country. And then this weekend, I wanted to touch this first. We lost 2 students on campus, it seems, to suicides. So as tough as it is out there for all of our families, I've got 6 grandkids and 4 children, and all of us love our families. And we had a situation with Jake Lawler when we first got here, where he actually came to us after we talked about it some and said, I need some help. And we got him help, and he's flourishing and having a great life out in LA now. So just please, anybody out there that's struggling, or if you have a friend that's struggling, get them some information, get them some help. It's such an awful loss of life, and especially for young people, and so hurtful to the families and the friends, and it's so confusing to everybody that I ask you to spread the word. And it seems worse now. It's the second leading death for young people between 15 and 34. So it's out there, and it's out there way too much. And our sport's really, really important. People's lives are more important, especially young people. So let's try to help them as much as we can. We'll have a wellness day at the university on Tuesday, where we will not have class, just to emphasize mental health and trying to make sure everybody takes a break and reaches out to friends. So hopefully you'll, as I said, you will publicize that and reach out to people and see if we can help as much as we can. If we save one life, it's sure worth it, without question. The game Saturday was really disappointing. We came out of Duke thinking everything was great headed into Saturday, and we questioned whether the defense would be able to handle the success they had. And it looked like we started the game well on defense with an early 3 and out, getting them off the field. We controlled the ball the first quarter. And for whatever reason right now, the teams we've had for 2 years didn't have great expectations, but they seem to fight adversity and overcome adversity more than this team's been able to do that. And this team seems to get down and go up and down and doesn't play consistently well. But defensively, we missed 11 assignments. We missed 14 tackles. They're 7 of 10 on third downs. They're 11 of 13 in passing, and they were an inconsistent passing team coming in, 3 touchdowns. They were able to run the ball, and they were 3 for 3 in the red zone. So we didn't sack them. We didn't force any turnovers. It's the worst defensive performance that we've had. And you can arguably say that the offense was the biggest reason we lost the Virginia Tech game, because of sacks, tackles for loss, and turnovers. You can very much say that the Georgia Tech game, the offense lost the game. Saturday, the offense could have won the game, because we kicked a field goal in one situation that could have been a score. We have an interception in the end zone, which is another one that could have been we're at the 30 going in, and we're first and goal at the 5 and don't score. So there's 21 points minimum that are left on the board. And offensively, we had entirely too many penalties, which is uncharacteristic as well. But we did a better job of keeping people from penetrating Florida State, who had the best defensive line we've played. We did a lot better job of protection than we've been able to do. So the offensive line, other than those penalties, played their best game. And then kicking game, we felt like we did well. We had the one kickoff cover that they returned 41 yards, but other than that, we averaged 10 yards on punt returns, which is a positive. We kicked 51-yard field goal. Our punts were all good, and our punt coverage was good. So I think the biggest thing is inconsistency with this team. We never know who's going to show up, and that's on me. That's on our coaches. We I went back and checked. Virginia Tech, we had 5 penalties. Georgia State, we had 3. UVA, we had 7. Georgia Tech, we had 7. Duke, we had 5. And then we show up with 12. And some of them were frustration penalties on our defense because we weren't stopping them. And guys got frustrated, which is not us as well. So the coaches and I take full responsibility for the inconsistency of this team. They're good young people. They're talented. We should have won more games than we have, in my estimation. So it's on us, period. And they've got to play better, but it's our job to get them to play better. They're young people that go with our leadership and our guidance. And you can't hide from it. It is what it is. People have asked, what about goals now? Have you lost all your goals? And where does it head? These seniors, the first 2 years didn't go to a bowl game. So they've been to 2 bowls the last 2 years, even the Orange Bowl. So they want to finish strong and go to a bowl. So they're starting the season over. We had long, hard meetings again yesterday and said, come on, man, what's the deal? Why are we so inconsistent with what we're doing here? It doesn't make sense. So the immediate goal is to start over, win the rest of the games, get to a bowl, and try to finish strong for these seniors. Because they started very poorly here, they've helped our program be on the rise, and now we want them to finish strong. One of the problems we said is we got some real young ones, we've got some old ones, and Lou Holtz always said the seniors want to win, everybody else wants to play. And that's kind of what you get. They want to win, but their playing and their performance is more important in some cases because they don't feel the urgency of being through. The future of the program is bright. We've got to get these young quarterbacks ready to play next year if Sam decides to leave, and I think he will. But everybody else is growing and getting better, and we can see it there. It's just a frustrating time, and what we've got to do is learn from where we are, because the publicity was ahead of the program, and probably going to the Orange Bowl was ahead of the program after those 5 guys that we lost last year that are all playing in the NFL. And we haven't been able to replace them as quickly and easily as we wanted to. I don't understand why we have 10 starters back on defense and we're still not playing as well as we should. And at times, why did we play as good of defense against Duke as we've played all year, and then come back Saturday and play as poorly as we've played all year? It just makes no sense, and it's really frustrating for all of us. But like I said, it's my job to get it fixed. Questions?
Thank you, Coach. We got a couple lined up already, so we'll begin with Art Chansky.
You're on mute, Art. Art, you're on mute.
Unmute.
All right. Okay, there you go.
Trying to unmute. Hey, Mack, let me jump back to something that you started with. I wonder if you caught that clip of Seth Small's family watching him kick that winning field goal on Saturday night. And with all the craziness that's going on in sports, good and bad, I thought that was a pretty amazing video to see what other people besides the players were going through for their sake. You got any comments on that?
Yeah, Art, I think it was interesting at one Rose Bowl. Sally was in the press box with Phil Mickelson, and she was really, really nervous. I think it was the Michigan game, and we kicked a field goal with 3 seconds left to win the game. And she's praying, and she's on her knees, and she's biting her fingernails. And Phil said, I never thought about my wife, Amy, and how she must feel when I'm playing. Because we get so consumed with ourselves that we never think about other people. But we've got to think about these players' families. We've got to think about their friends. This is big stuff, and it impacts a whole lot of people, not just those families. And I did happen to see the family of the kicker for A&M to beat Alabama, and the picture would have been just as bad or worse if he'd missed it. I mean, that's the thing. These are their children, And then we talk about children, they may be 19, 20 years old, but they're still young people and some people's parents. So that's what I've always said most of the time. We don't treat coaches as people. We treat them as things when they lose, and the same thing with players. And all are human beings and all hurt. I've been around long enough. I don't worry about what people say about me because I've heard it all. I've heard the good and it didn't make me feel any better. And I've heard the awful and it didn't make me feel any worse. So I'm at a point now, I just want to win. And I want to make sure that these kids are healthy mentally. And I want to make sure that their lives are better because we're mentoring them. And I've grown up to a point now that I am trying to learn from losses, figure out what we're doing wrong, because we're recruiting, we're killing it, and we're going to be really, really good. But it's my job to get us back on track here to do that. And Art, a lot of that's dealing with parents. I've always said too, the 120 players on a team and 11 play at a time. We have more morale issues in college football, and we have more depression in college football than any other sport because there's a lot more people sitting and watching on the bench than there are playing. And if you're not playing, and especially if you're winning and not playing, everybody understands it. They're good. And if you're winning by a bunch, everybody gets to play. Morale's good. If you're struggling and you're not playing, then you won't transfer, and everybody's mad. So those are other things you deal with at this time as well. And because of that, next week we will sit down with every player again, and we will talk to every one of them about, are you going to transfer at the end of the year if things don't change? Are you going to graduate and leave? Are you going to graduate and stay? Are you going to go to the NFL? Are you going to opt out if we have a bowl game? We're trying to have direct conversations with every player just to know exactly where things are moving forward with them, with their lives. If they want to get in the portal, we're going to try to help them. Because if they're not playing, then we don't think they're ready to play yet. And if they think they are, then we'll help them go somewhere else. It's just the way we are. Try to be very transparent.
Thank you, Mac.
Thank you, Art.
JB Ricks, go ahead.
Good morning, Coach. Appreciate you taking out the time.
Good morning, JB.
Thank you. You answered my first question in regards to how do you guys reset your goals at this point of the season? You talked about that in your intro, but I did want to ask you on top of that, when it comes to your kids' demeanor and just, their enthusiasm that maybe they had in the beginning of the season compared to right now, how does your voice change? How do you adjust with that? Because I know you've had past experiences like this dealing with adversity in a season. How does your voice change with your kids at this point?
What you do, JB, no different than all of us with families. You have to figure out how to handle it. If your son or your daughter's down and they've messed something up, do you get on them? Do you pick them up? When everybody's getting on the players, do I have to pick them up, but be honest with them and be very direct? So it's just a combination of things, and hopefully my 33 years of experience will help us pull out of this thing. And the same with the assistant coaches. Assistant coaches feel awful when they lose, and then everybody says they should be fired. It's 100%. If you took the message boards and a lot of the media across the country for every team that lost yesterday, just change the names, but all the comments are the same. It's just it's unbelievable how consistent it is about he's an idiot, he should be fired. I can't believe those stupid fools don't know any better than this, or why are they playing that quarterback? I mean, and it's just that it is what it is, and I've seen it for 47 years. So the only difference is now you can see it and hear it more than you could when I first started. You had to hear it walking off the field with somebody calling you an idiot. But I think the thing is there's a key to each team. There's a key to each kid. And my job right now is to step up, be strong, be positive, and try to find the key to this team that we haven't found yet. And the real key is consistency. And why can't we get everybody to play at the same time? I don't know. And I'm working on it. I met Long with the team yesterday. I met Long with the staff yesterday and told them this is not good. It's unacceptable. We're disappointing to ourselves. We've done a great job of not letting one loss beat us twice. So let's go back to work. Why don't we all play good on the same Saturday? That's legal. I checked it. We can do that. They allow us to. So let's do it. But it's 100% my fault that they're not. And I mean, I can duck it. I can say something else. I'm responsible for everybody that's hired here. I'm responsible for how they coach their players, and we are responsible for how those players play. And we can put it back on the players and say, it's your responsible to be ready to play. We're older and been around longer. We got to help them. And we've got to be more consistent as coaches to get our team to play more consistent than we've been. That's 100%, no ducking. It is what it is.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, JB.
Andrew Jones, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, I asked you after the game Saturday about a common thread between the second half against Georgia Tech and those two middle quarters on Saturday. And you said guys were in the wrong place, miscommunication in the secondary. Jeremiah backed that up when we talked to him about it. This has been a consistent problem that when things go badly for the defense, it just kind of sticks around and goes badly for a while. How do you go about fixing that? Is it a matter of coaching them up differently, or is it a matter of maybe simplifying things a little bit more?
And Coach Bateman, I think we're about as simple as we can get. So I'm not sure. I know we moved a few people around at safety, and but we cannot continue with communication problems. Period. 100%. It's got to stop. And if I went into detail with you, you'd be shocked at some of the reasons one of the touchdowns happened. I've never heard it before in 33 years. I mean, it's just crazy stuff. So, but we gotta fix it. Good teams don't do crazy stuff that get them beat, and we got to fix that. The other thing is, and there's two other things. Jeremiah said it yesterday when we were talking, is why does this team not fight as much when they have adversity as the last two? Maybe we're too cool, and we thought we were going to be better than this, and they get discouraged too quickly, or they get frustrated too quickly, and that again is our fault. Go fight. Everybody's about alike. So I went comparative scores with them, like I did you all some, and Wake Forest and Syracuse and Florida State and Notre Dame, Virginia Tech and Notre Dame, Georgia Tech and Duke. I mean, just look at this stuff. It's just absolutely crazy stuff. So I think it's, again, Ole Miss gives up 51 points. Arkansas, everybody bragging on them, they're top 20 team. They give up 52 points. Texas is ahead 28-7. They give up 55 points. There's craziness out there, but it doesn't matter. We got to be on the positive side of the craziness, and that's what we've got to do. The other thing I can't figure out, Andrew, for the life of me, is why we stink in the second quarter. It's the only quarter we're not outscoring people, and we stink in the second quarter. We had a great first quarter. We were ready to play. We're up 10-0. They had the ball very little the first quarter. Why do we stink in the second quarter? I don't know. Last year at practice, we had them hold up two fingers every time we'd start the second part of the first half of the practice. So I don't know. I've never seen that before. I can't figure it out. And it's been for 2.5 years. So I don't know. That's one I gotta keep trying to figure out.
The fight that you're looking for, is it a matter of a guy stepping up, just making a play that might change the disposition out there? Or is it something collective, maybe get a little bit more ticked off and the guys can use that to kind of galvanize to change the course of the way things are going?
Yeah, we need more leadership, and leadership makes that play. They step up and make the play, and it does excite everybody else.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Greg Barnes, go ahead.
Hey, Mack, sticking with the struggles to deal with adversity, given the number of returning guys and players have played for 3 years for you now, is that surprising that they're not handling adversity the way they need to be?
Yes, it's surprising and disappointing. And I think the only thing I can attribute it to is, again, all of us bought into the hype. And when in the past, there were no expectations. We'd won 2 games in 3 games. We'd won 5 games in 2 years. So what the heck, go play and go have fun. And right now, I think they're trying so hard, Greg, to reach that thing that people said we were, that we weren't. And now that we aren't, they get down so fast because they don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, and they feel the pressure of not playing well. So instead of taking adversity and making you stronger, what we have done in some cases is taking a step back, and you just can't do that. This is a great learning lesson for all of us. Our guys have got to keep fighting. They got to go forward. Florida State could have very easily won every one of their games. They're a very talented team, and they were last year. So when you let them make plays, they just feed off of it and get more confidence and got better. And that's what this game is. You got to beat down the other team. You've got to take away their chance to win. You've got to make sure that you discourage them. And we didn't do that after the first quarter on Saturday.
I also wanted to ask the final touchdown drive, 11 plays in 5 minutes and 25 seconds. When you scored, there was 2 minutes, 47 seconds left. I know there was a couple of penalties there and a sack. Was the sense of urgency where you wanted it to be on that drive, given you were down by 18 points?
Well, we were going 1 minute offense, but I do think we needed to get the ball in the end zone faster. So I agree with you. I was screaming, come on, man, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. But we didn't score as quickly as we wanted to.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Even more so, Greg, the 1st and goal from the 5 and a chance to win the game, and we don't score. And somebody said, why didn't you kick a field goal? Well, we needed points. That would have cut it to 15, but we weren't stopping them. So that was the other thing. I didn't know that 3 was going to help us. And when you look at analytics, they said 6, kick the field goal, 5, go for it, 5 or 6 or less. And, but I thought, surely, come on, man. We got one of the best quarterbacks in the country. We score here. That really gets us some momentum and gets us going. Maybe we'll get excited on defense. But, I didn't think we got down there as fast as we needed to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
CL Brown, go ahead.
Hi, Mack. When you mentioned that you're basically resetting and starting the season over, does that change what success looks like for the rest of the year? And does that change your expectations and how hard you may push them?
Yeah, CL, it doesn't change anything except it is what it is. So we've got to win this week. And then we'll have to beat Notre Dame, and then we'll have to win the next week, and we'll have to win the next week. And what we've got to do is get better as a program. We got to get better as a team. So we're not going to a January 1 bowl. We're not going to the playoffs. We're not going to win the conference championship. I got all that. I mean, I can read. I can think. I got this. What we've got to do is get better for the future of our program. And we got to get playing with passion again. We got to get everybody playing on the same page. We got to figure out our second half problems. We've got to clean up penalties. So we've got a lot of things that we need to do as a program builder to try to help us get to a bowl game and have an extra 13 days of practice. We're not even guaranteed a bowl game because we got hard games that are left, every one of them. So my goal is for us to, my job and my goal is for us and our staff to better prepare these guys to play with passion and play 60 minutes and fight adversity and overcome it to get back on track. That's our program. We have been a roller coaster, and college football in general is a roller coaster, and that doesn't help us at all. It doesn't make any difference to us what everybody else is doing. But it's time for us to play better, and therefore we need to coach better.
And you said you feel like the past 2 seasons, those teams handled adversity better. Was there a common thread with those? Was it players' leadership? Was there a common thread with those 2 teams that you see that made them handle it better?
I think number one, the preseason hype wasn't there, and we're not used to this, so it's new for us. That's not an excuse. That's a fact. Anything we did was good. Everybody was hoping we'd beat somebody. Now we're expected to beat everybody, and we're getting everybody's best shot. I got that. Been there, done that. Not going to change around here. I know that going forward. Miami's had 16 days to prepare. We'll get their best shot on Saturday. It's not an excuse. It's fact. It's where you want to be. But we haven't handled it very well. And I think we lost a tremendous amount of leadership with a few guys that we lost and probably impacted us more than we thought. And now we
Okay.
got to have some new leaders step up.
Excuse me, Coach. Luciano, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, I hope you're doing well, and thank you for your time this morning. You
Thank
touched
you.
on it, you touched on it a little bit during your opening statement. Penalties hurt your team a lot during the game. Is this due to a lack of focus and proper execution during the game, or is this now a serious issue for your team?
I think it's hopefully it's one. We have officials at every practice. We have cut down the number of penalties in practice all year to a point. I thought that was behind us. The offense played better than the defense, and they had the more penalties. So I don't know. Again, if you could figure some of this stuff out, I wouldn't be coaching. I'd be doing something else.
All right, Coach, that was the last one we had for you this morning. We appreciate a few minutes.
Okay, thank you guys. And let's all take a step forward and see if we can help with these mental health issues, because it's serious, it's real, it's out there for our young people. And let's take it serious, and let's all do something today to try to help some young person that's struggling get through their day and have a better life. Appreciate you all. Thank you very much.